Hello everyone, Data Pioneer here with the Linux Unix Tech Channel, and today I'm going to continue on with part 2 of the Proxmox VE server series. And in this series I'm going to show you how to download the ISO, how to create the bootable USB, and then install and configure Proxmox VE server. And so let's get going with it, and let's do this together, and I'll do it right after this. Okay, I'm back, and so let's get started. I'm out here on the Proxmox.com website, and if you'll notice here on the left it says Proxmox Virtual Environment. That's what we're looking for. You've got a backup server and a mail gateway, but we're not interested in those two right now. So let's go and click on this Learn More button, and that takes us out to this website page. And click this, tells you a little bit about Proxmox Virtual Environment here. Let's click this download button here, and that takes us out to the downloads page. And so you've got the Proxmox virtual environment on the left, and let's come down here to the 9.0 ISO installer. And this file is not very large, it's only 1.64 gigabytes. It's dated August the 5th of 2025. So you've got two options over here, one for a BitTorrent download and one for a straight direct download. Since this file size is not very large, let's go with the straight download. And so I'm going to click that button here, and I'm going to go out to downloads, and I've already downloaded it here, so I'm not going to download it again. I just want to show you that you can click the save and you could download it a second time. Alright, so cancel, and you come back. Once you download the file, you can run the SHA-256 sum against that file, and if it matches this particular fingerprint, you know you've got a good download. Alright, so once you've downloaded the ISO, you've got a couple of options that you can do to make a bootable USB. Now you need a USB stick that's probably about 4 gigs in size. You could use a smaller one, but these days 4 gigs for a USB is pretty standard, actually probably less than standard, but that will work, no problem. And so you just pop that in your computer and either use Balena Etcher or Rufus. In my case, I'm running MX Linux, so I'm using the MX USB maker to take that file, point it to that file that you downloaded in your downloads directory, and let it create a bootable version of the Proxmox VE 9.0 ISO installer. Okay, I'll put a link in the show notes to both Balena Etcher and to Rufus, so if you wanted to go to those websites and create your USB bootable that way, you can do that if you don't know where they're found on the web. Alright, so now what I'm going to do here is I cannot demonstrate the actual installation of Proxmox VE9 any other way other than to take a VM of this image and this ISO, and which I've already created in Proxmox VE server, and start it up this way. It'll be identical to what you see when you boot up on the USB. And by the way, there are several different types of computers, and so I can't tell you what you need to do to change the boot order to boot up on your USB stick, but you'll just have to go with the manufacturer's instructions. Could be F12, could be F10, could be escape key. It just depends on the architecture and the manufacturer of the computer. But on the node that you want to install Proxmox, which can be any any device that meets the requirements in part 1, you can start it up and boot up on it. And what I'm going to do right now is start up on that, and it'll be identical to what you'll see, as I said. So here we are. And so you'll see this first screen when it boots up, and it says, "Welcome to Proxmox Virtual Environment." And you'll just hit the install. Okay, and so once you hit the enter key, it should start booting up on the USB stick. And it's going to run through this process. It's going to take a few minutes, a few seconds to a few minutes, depending on your computer. And it'll come to another screen here shortly that you'll need to give it information. Now you'll get to the end user license agreement. You'll need to agree to that. So come over here on the right hand side and click I agree. Go ahead and click next button over here, and then you'll be presented with this country window. It should come up the United States, but if it doesn't, then you can select, just start typing United States, and it will populate the United States in that field. Come down here to the time zone. It's right now America ADAC. That's not my time zone. So click the down arrow and scroll down to America. For me, it's New York. I'm in the Eastern time zone. So I'll just keep coming down until I get to New York, and there we are. All right, and then the keyboard layout is US English, and so let's click next. The password, need to put that in. Confirm it. And then in the email field, you will need to put in a valid email address, or an email address that's in a valid format, if you don't want to use your own. I'm just going to put mine in. Cannot leave this field blank, and you cannot have it be in a format not equivalent to an email address. All right, once you do that, then click next, and then you've got your management interface. It tells you what it is. All right, so you just leave it the way it is. Mine's ENS 18. The host name, you will want to give it a host name with this, which is a fully qualified domain name. You can make it up. It doesn't have to be a real fully qualified domain name, but give it something that's you can remember. So I'm going to call mine pmox01.lan.local, since it's my lan.local is my local domain. And then IP address, the CIDR for it, it's 192.168.1.152 here. It's what it assigned. And /24 is the CIDR notation. The gateway is 192.168.1.1, and the DNS server is the same, 192.168.1.1. Click next. And here's the summary page that is asking you to confirm all this information is correct before you hit the install button. Looks good to me, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the install button. And it's going to start the installation process. Alright, so it's creating the partitions now, extracting the base system, and doing some other things. This does take anywhere from a couple of minutes to maybe perhaps as much as 5 minutes or more. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop the video and come back when it's completed. Okay, it completed the process, took about 10 minutes, and then now it's automatically rebooted. And you'll come up to this blue screen here, and just be patient. Don't touch any keys or anything. And it should eventually settle down to the screen that you need to see. It's still loading the grub, so just be patient. Here we go. And this is the screen we want to see. This is the Welcome to Proxmox Virtual Environment screen. It says, please use your web browser to configure the server. Connect to HTTPS 192.168.1.152, in my case, colon 8006, which is port 8006. And then you've got the Proxmox 01, which is a fully qualified domain name, less the land.local. Login. You can log in here if you want with root as the user and the password that you gave it. And you can do that for, a number of reasons. You might need to get in here for some reason to fix something or to update the system. All right, so let's go out to the web browser, to this IP address right here, and we should be able to log in to Proxmox. And so let me go ahead and do that now. So let's go back out here, and that's 152. And let me go here, and let's go to the web browser, and I put in HTTPS 192.168.1.152 colon 8006. Hit enter, and you're going to get this: your connection is not private, and that's okay. Just click the advanced button here, and then you come down where it says proceed to that address unsafe. It's safe because it's internal, and it's not connected to the internet, so that's not a problem. Don't click this back to safety. So click here, and that's going to come to a login screen. So just put in root and the password that I gave it. Make sure it's on the realm of Linux PAM standard authentication, and put in the password. And if I just type that correctly, hit log in. And we're logged in now. Alright, so it tells you immediately that you have no valid subscription. So it says you do not have a valid subscription to the service or server. Please visit this website to get a list of available options. Now, go ahead and click the OK button here, and that opens up the Proxmox environment. So we're at Proxmox Virtual Environment 9.0.3 server, and we have one cluster here. All right, not one cluster, but one node, Proxmox 01, which is what I gave it. And so if you expand it, this is what you'll see here. All right, you've got the local network, Proxmox 01. If you select that, that's what that looks like. You've got a local Proxmox 01 screen here, and then you've got a local LVM, Logical Volume Manager, as well. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and click back on the node. Now here's the data center. If you go to the data center, click Summary, you're going to see a summary page showing you some information about the node itself and the server itself. So we're only using 17% of the available memory. We've got 8 gigs of RAM, which is what I gave it, and 1.26 of that is being used, and then we've got 13% storage being utilized here. Okay, so let's come back here to Proxmox 01, and at this point what you want to do now is go down to the repositories and select that. All right, and you'll see anywhere that there's an enterprise, highlight it. So you got 2 places that you see enterprise. So here and here. So what we do here is come to this option here and select disable. So we're disabling the subscription. And then here to the enterprise and disable that subscription. And then click the add button here. And you do not have a valid subscription, so click OK. And in this repository window, select it, click in it, and select no subscription. Okay, and then click add, and that's going to add the no subscription repository to our Proxmox server. That will allow you to update the system using the no subscription. All right. Otherwise, you would not be able to update the server itself. All right. So let's see here. If I click on the node, and if I select updates, okay, so if I select update here, then select upgrade, all right, that's going to upgrade the system. And so do you want to continue? And you select yes, hit enter, and that's going to upgrade the system for us using the no subscription repository. This will take a few seconds to a minute or so to complete as well, but you want to do that initially after you install the server. Now there are some scripts that you can run. I will show you one script that you do want to run post-install, and once this is completed I will show you that. If this takes a little bit longer, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video again and come back after it's completed. All right, it's completed. It actually completed right after I stopped the video. So it says your system is up to date and you're at the root. So you can just go ahead and type in exit here and log out and then close the window. This is running, remember, Debian Linux, and so it's Debian Linux version 13 actually, Trixie. So you can use bash commands in that window with no problem. All right, so now there's a website showing here. There we go. Okay, it's called Proxmox VE Helper Scripts, and it is at community-scripts-github .io/Proxmox VE/. I'll put this link in the show notes as well. But this gets you to the Make Managing Your Home Lab a Breeze page, and this is where a bunch of helper scripts are located. So come down here to this window and click in the View Scripts. All right, and then come up to the Search Scripts window here and type in PVE. And you should see one that says, let me scroll down here. You should see one that says post install. Right here it is, PVE post install. So let's go ahead and click this one. And it gives you some information about it, tells you what it's going to do. Here's the description, how to use it, etc., etc. But mainly, this is what we're looking for down here. This is the bash script. It's safe to run. Because all these scripts are safe to run because they're done by Proxmox themselves, not a third party. And so I'm going to go ahead and select this button here to copy that to the clipboard. And now we need to come back to the Proxmox, come back to here to our Proxmox node, and which is at the IP address that we received once we installed. And now let's go to the node itself and then go to the shell of that node, and here we are. So we're in the shell of the PMOX 01 node. Go ahead and let's right click and paste that script in here and then hit enter, and that's going to run the PVE post install script. Now we need to tell it to go ahead and run it. So say yes, Y for yes. All right, and so probably the rule of thumb here is to just say okay to everything, because what this script is going to do is it's going to run some things for you that you would have to do manually otherwise. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and say the first one says modern deb 822 sources. Dot sources already exist, no changes. So let's just say OK. And then PVE Enterprise repository already exists. What do you want to do? I do want to disable the comment out this repo. All right, so let's down arrow to there, and then hit the tab key to OK, and then hit enter. And then what do you want to do here with the self enterprise repository? It already exists. Let's go ahead and keep that. So go ahead and hit the enter key. PVE no subscription repository is currently enabled. What do you want to do? We want to keep it as is. So it's on that selection. So let's go ahead and click OK. Hit the enter key. And then PVE test repository can give advanced users access to new features. Sure, let's go ahead and keep it. Say yes. Okay, now this option will disable the nag message reminding you to purchase a subscription. Yes, we definitely want to disable the subscription nag message, so hit enter here. And then supporting the software's development team is essential. Let's just go ahead and say OK here. And then if you plan to utilize a single node instead of a clustered environment, you can disable unnecessary high availability. I would recommend you do that because you're not going to do the clustering right away. So let's go ahead and hit yes. And now it's running through some additional things, some additional steps. Disable the Coro sync for Proxmox VE cluster. Since we're not going to be using a cluster, say yes here. And update Proxmox VE now. Now we've already updated it, so we don't need to do that. But if we didn't update it earlier, or like we did, we should use yes here. So I'm going to say no. If you have multiple Proxmox VE hosts in a cluster, we do not. So it says here we just need to complete these steps on each node of the cluster. We only have one, so let's just click OK. Reboot the Proxmox VE now. Recommended. Yes, let's go ahead and do that. It's going to go through its process and reboot for us. And then when it's finished, we will proceed getting back into the Proxmox VE server. Okay, when it rebooted, it brought us back to this screen again, so we need to get out of that and go back to a web browser and type in 192.168.1.152:8006, and that should take us back into our node, which it does. Alright, so we were successful in getting out of the script and back to our Proxmox node and Proxmox server. And so from here, it's just a matter of doing some other configurations that you might want to take advantage of. One of them in particular is, it's kind of critical actually, so let me show you that. So for PMOX 01 here, what you want to do is come down to, down here to the firewall. You want to expand the firewall, and we need to add a couple of, this is the firewall itself. It's currently on, so I guess we don't need to do what I was going to do. Typically what you have to do here is add a couple of rules to this firewall to prevent you from locking yourself out of the system. But the firewall is usually off by default. Looks like they've changed it in this version of Proxmox to enable the firewall by default, and so that requirement to add those two rules to the firewall is no longer necessary, so I won't be doing that for you. Alright, so we've got an up and running Proxmox server, and so this completes part 2 of the video series for Proxmox virtual environment server. The next part 3, we will look at adding some virtual machines and LXC containers to our Proxmox node and move forward with our Proxmox server. So this concludes part 2 of the Proxmox virtual environment server, and I'm working on part 3 right now, and in part 3 we will continue on with building our Proxmox node by adding some virtual machines and some LXC containers, or Lexis they're called. And so look forward to part 3 when it becomes available. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, if you got something out of it, please consider hitting that like button, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. It does help me grow my channel. So this is Data Pioneer with the Linux Unix Tech Channel. Hope you enjoyed part 2 of the Proxmox Virtual Environment Server. Take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.